Welcome back to Just Fantasy Baseball. Your host, Colby Olson, joined as always by Clay Snowden. I hope everybody had a wonderful Memorial Day weekend, got outside, got a little sunshine, maybe a little baseball. Clay, I got to enjoy a Yankees Padres game yesterday at Yankee Stadium and saw one of the funniest baseball plays you'll see. I did see a home run robbery, Trent Grisham in center field, but the funniest play was Jose Azocar is at the plate with a runner on second, hits a single up the middle of the center field. Center fielder Harrison Bader throws it over the catcher's head, trying to get the guy out at home. Then the catcher, Kyle Higashioka, throws it over
Yep.
third base because Azocar was trying to take third base on the overthrow by Bader. Higashioka throws it over third base, and Azocar
I saw
scores
that
a
on
little league home
TV.
run.
I saw
Hilarious.
that on TV, and immediately my first thought was, I hope whoever's running the Just Baseball Twitter account today saw that and post that because I want to see it again immediately.
Hilarious stuff. But yeah, I mean, today we're going to be talking waivers. I have a couple streamer plays, but before we do that, I do want to give a quick shout out to So Rare because we've started our own Just Baseball League on So Rare. So if you go to the link in the episode description, you can click on that and go check out So Rare, which is, a very cool way to play fantasy baseball. You collect cards, free to play. So come play with us. Right now we have, over 150 people in the league right now. So it's growing every day. This is the first week of the league, and we can win some cool prizes. We're going to be giving away some MLB TV subscriptions. Look out for other giveaways. We can win other prizes, other cards. So definitely go join that. But yeah, without further ado, Clay, we got some waiver wire guys to talk about. So I'll let you take it away.
I have one right off the top here, and I've been holding on to this one for a while to see if it would change, if it came back down to earth or whatever. But there's a player, Colby, and I just want to read these stats without telling you the name first, just so you have a clear mind on it. This player is slashing 295, 409, 451 with a 146 WRC plus. 4 home runs, 10 stolen bases, 150 plate appearances. This isn't just some nothing. 11.3% barrel rate, 39% hard hit rate. And this particular player, 97th percentile expected batting average, 97th in expected weighted on base average, and 95% barrel percentage, whiff percentage, all of them over 95%. Do not look it up. Do you have any idea who this player is?
I had one guess, and it's not my one guess. It's close. I thought you were going to bring Kevin Kiermaier here because he's
This is
hitting.
Zach McKinstry for the
Okay.
Detroit Tigers, who's also hitting leadoff. He can play all over the field, second, third, outfield eligibility, and he's only owned in 5% of leagues. I don't know what the problem is here, or maybe I'm missing something. Like, I've been watching him play a lot, and I'm thinking, like, this guy's putting together fantastic at bats. He's walking. I think he has the third highest on base percentage amongst qualified hitters in the AL. And he's leading off position flexibility. 4 home runs isn't, absolutely nothing. And 10 stolen bases. He's striking out 15%, or excuse me, 18%, walking 15. Why is he not owned in more leagues?
Because his name is Zach McKinstry and he's been a quad A player his entire career and finally
Good
gets
in
a
AAA,
chance
though, yeah.
to he's finally left the Dodgers because he was kind of rotting as like a Dodgers bench player a la, Matt Beatty, right? Like those guys just
Yeah.
seem to spawn in the Dodgers org. And yeah, man, these numbers are really legit. Like he struck out, he was always a guy that struck out a lot. But he's cut the strikeout rate by 10% so far this year. The out of zone swing percentage has dropped 6% this year. I mean, yeah, everything about this profile looks to be sustainable, and that's a lot of stolen bases. And what was the eligibility you said?
5% in ESPN. He is eligible at third, second, and outfield. And he's played some shortstop this
Damn,
season
man.
as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna go run and pick him up. Like this looks
I
legit.
picked him
This
up
looks
in a
legit to
10
me.
person league.
So this is a fantastic way to start the episode, Clay. Very proud of this one.
Awesome. Thank you. Moving on, a guy that a lot more people know about. That is a just baseball top 20 prospect, Francisco Alvarez for the New York Mets catcher. I know I don't love talking about my own fantasy team constantly on here, But I did admit, I dropped Sean Murphy at the beginning of the year, which he's back to kind of not playing every day. So maybe I have something. I picked up Jonah Heim. I've dropped him. He's gone cold. And now I have Francisco Alvarez, and I'm so glad that I do. 269, 327, 558, 8 home runs, 19 RBIs. And I don't think the home runs that we've seen recently are just a Coors Field thing. Like, I don't think, because that one that he hit out yesterday, I believe it was Sunday, was a complete tank out of Coors. An interesting stat I saw was he had one multi-hit game in April, and he's already up to 7 multi-hit games in May. I think he's settling in 309 for the month, and I think right now is kind of the beginning of the breakout. I love the player, and I know you do as well.
I mean, you don't really have to sell me on a guy that hit 28 home runs in 117 games last year. That like he's getting not hitting cheap home runs. Like this guy has 30 home run power. I don't think you're gonna have to sell me too hard on that, Clay. Yeah, I mean, he's been up to 113.6 mile per hour off the bat. He started really, really slow, but you know, you can't really expect a 21-year-old to make the leap to the big league level and just immediately click. But he's been a top 5 prospect for the last 2 years for a reason. And for the upside at catcher, like you're not going to find this type of upside on the waiver wire.
I should have said this, owned in about 12% as of
This is ESPN.
12% ESPN as of, I believe, Sunday night, Monday morning. So that might have changed drastically after the hot weekend he had. Another thing about him, he bats second in the order against lefties. In a good lineup, like there's going to be a lot of run production, especially if you're batting that high, and he's going to continue to climb against righties if he continues to hit this way.
I mean, yeah, like I said, you're not going to find that much upside. He's owned in 44% of Yahoo leagues, which generally seems to be Clay like 20% higher than ESPN leagues. So
Yeah,
he's probably
I
available
don't
in a lot of ESPN
understand.
leagues.
I would assume that Yahoo has a lot more deeper leagues too, right?
Probably a lot of deeper leagues, probably trends to be more advanced players as well. Like,
Yeah,
more tuned in players, I would assume. That
I
would just
can't
be my
figure it out.
assumption. Just because Yahoo, like, I feel like nobody in the year 2023 is like going on and making a new Yahoo league. They're like, you're going to ESPN now, I guess.
Yeah, that's why I also think ESPN doesn't update theirs that often, like percentage, because it'll say like randomly 20% drop or 20% add in a day. Like that doesn't happen in one day, right?
No, no.
So I think that they only update it ever so often. Either way, moving on to our next one, former Met Michael Conforto, outfielder for the Giants, ESPN owned 15.3%. Stats on the year 244, 344, 463, 11 home runs, 27 RBIs, and 2 bags for you, too. Colby, tell me about Michael Conforto.
Is that the most Michael Conforto line you've ever heard in your
It
life?
is, dude. I literally was reading that. I was like, did I have the right year? Like, it just feels like
I mean, no, I think that's the thing. Like Michael Conforto just does this, and nobody, I dropped him earlier this year in a league where I had like Bellinger, Kellenic, like my outfield just kind of got clogged, and I just didn't have
Mhm.
room for Conforto anymore, and he was slumping. Um, but I will say Conforto's WRC plus like 2 weeks ago was 100, and now he's at 121. So he's obviously been killing the ball as of late. All the numbers when you look, Clay, look completely similar to the numbers he was putting up in 2017, 2018, 2019, where he had 27 home runs, 28 home runs, and 33 home runs back to back to back to back. Like, yeah, I mean, it's not sexy production, but it's like consistent. It's very, very consistent.
We kind of forgot about him, I feel like the baseball industry. And then he went to the Giants, and it was just kind of like, I don't know why. It just wasn't the something about that signing did not resonate with me as like big time splash move or anything, right? It just kind of was like, I don't know, he's been injured. Like, we'll just see what happens. Mitch Haniger, like, I don't really know what's gonna happen there. We'll see.
What do
And
you
he
think his
looks
hard
like the
hit rate
player that
is?
he was for 2000 at bats.
What do you think his hard hit rate is?
48%.
Dude, yeah, you knew that.
I literally typed it this morning
Yeah, you
or
definitely did. That's
last
crazy
night.
though.
So,
And in the month of May, he's striking out less than 20%. Love to
yeah.
see that. I mean, Conforto, yeah, he might be
Is
finding it again.
Colby, isn't it funny how sometimes these streamer episodes, it's like, oh my gosh, shoot, I don't know if I feel good about any of these. In this episode, I'm like, dude, get me every one of these players, including this next guy on the list, Spencer Steer, first base slash third base, Cincinnati Reds, 16% owned in ESPN. I love the bat. He's batting 284, 352, 485, 7 home runs, 25 RBIs, and a stolen base. Thing I love about Steer is this guy, if you look at his spray chart, he just hits it everywhere. I mean, it's beautiful. He can just take the ball wherever it's pitched. He can poke it into right field. He has like 5 or 6 doubles in right field this year alone. I really like that bat. I know that he's not like the world's biggest power hitter, but he's going to sneak a lot out in Great American Ballpark, as we've already seen this season. Christian Encarnacion Strand, Ellie De La Cruz, Matt McLean. Those are going to be a huge staple in the lineup within the next week to 2 weeks, I would say. That's going to only improve the run production. He looks like one of the best rookies in the entire National League, and I don't think he's getting enough love for it.
He was a guy that I was drafting a lot of places. I drafted him in
Yeah,
most of my best balls. Like I was drafting him in like deep leagues where I was like, all right, I guess this is just be my like 24th round pick, Spencer Steer, to see what happens. And he obviously got off to a slow start, which was like, expected, I think. But the last month, Clay, he's really doing well and he's hitting third in the lineup, which I think is a very big point. Um, He's hitting the ball in the air a ton too. A 19.1 degree average launch angle is huge, especially when your home ballpark is Great American Ballpark. So yeah, he's not barreling a ton of balls, but like just the fact that he's hitting the ball in the air at such an advantageous home ballpark, like he's hitting almost 300. That's crazy. He's hitting 300
yeah,
at home. So like if you want to just he's a guy I think like he's probably the rare hitter where he's probably a streamer. Like, if you know that he has a homestand coming up, like pick him up for a week and just stream the heck out of him when he's home. But Clay, before you move on to your next guy, what's up with Strand and Encarnacion Strand?
he is absolutely demolishing the ball in AAA. I think he has 14 home runs in AAA, and he didn't even start the year. He started the year on the injury list. Like, he's going to get called up. He's definitely a name to keep an eye on. He'll maybe play some third. I think he'll play a lot of first, and I think he'll DH a bunch. Tons of power. I don't know, like his profile is so strange. Like, I just don't know if he's going to strike out a lot or not. He hasn't in the minors, like at an egregious clip. So screw it. Pick him up. If you're in a deeper league, I think he would probably be scooped up by now.
This profile is insane.
Yeah.
Dude, this profile is like one of the weirder profiles out there. He strikes out. I mean, he's averaged his strikeout percentage the last like 2 years has been right around 25, 26%.
Yeah.
He doesn't walk. This year he's walking less than 5%.
Literally does not walk at all. Like,
He
it's
does not
crazy.
walk at all. Has a
Swing set everything.
375 or ISO this year. 13 home runs in 31 games. And then last year was the same thing. He hit 32 home runs in like 120 games.
Yeah.
But here's the even weirder part. He's hit above 300 at every level. So he
Yeah.
just like, even though he strikes out a decent amount of time, like he doesn't walk. So every batted ball he puts into play is just so hard that he's
Yeah.
hitting above
That's
300.
exactly
That's
right.
crazy. I mean, this could be a legit fantasy relevant profile like quickly.
Yeah, I think he's getting scooped up pretty quickly. Um, and if he's available, I would at least put him on your watch list. If you have somebody go down with injury, he's the person I would pick up
Yeah, he's already owned in
immediately.
11% of Yahoo leagues, which is like, that could change pretty quick.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. I have two left before we get into streamers. This one I hate. I'm gonna admit it. I hate it. It's Kyle Finnegan, owned in 9.3% of leagues. Closer slash relief pitcher slash just not that great of a pitcher for the Washington Nationals. Now, what do we know about Kyle Finnegan? Every freaking year, he has stretches where he'll get like 5 or 6 saves and pitch well, and then he'll blow up. Then he'll do it again. Like, he's just a streaky pitcher. This year, 21 innings pitched, 4.29 ERA, 1.57 FIP, 22 strikeouts, 11 saves. So if you're looking for saves, and I think this Nationals team has actually been playing a little bit better. Um, right now he has allowed runs in only 2 of his past 19 outings. He's in collecting 10 saves in that time. Like he's doing pretty well right now. But as we all know, like it's probably just one of those hot streaks, but ride it, right? Pick it up, ride it, see if you can steal a few saves, and see what happens.
Ride it. I have nothing to add there.
Are you
I
are
got
you not
nothing
going to
on
do a
Kyle
big dive
Finnegan. I
on
got
Kyle
nothing.
Finnegan? All right, on the last one, I'm going to let you talk about him. Is Bobby Miller, owned in 19.4% of leagues, starter for the Dodgers, recently called up, started one game, 5 innings, 1.80 ERA, 1.00 whip, and 5 strikeouts. Colby, tell us about Bobby Miller and if you think he's somebody who people should be picking up.
Yeah, I mean, he's owned in 58% of leagues.
50.
He has, and this is Yahoo. What's he at on
I'm gonna
ESPN?
check ESPN to see if it's updated and just see what it says. Because this was full disclosure. I type these up on Sunday evenings usually, and we're recording on a Monday evening. So, you start talking about him, and I will let you know once I have that up.
Yeah, Bobby Miller is going to succeed if he does what he did in his first outing. And what he did in his first outing was he limited the amount of fastballs that he threw. And that's going to be so big for Bobby Miller because he actually does have it's hard to say that somebody that throws 100, 101 miles an hour has a subpar fastball in today's world, but like the shape on that four-seam fastball is not optimal. It doesn't get a ton of rise. It actually sinks a lot. It moves horizontally a lot and kind of like ends up in what they call a dead zone. So batters actually tend to hit Bobby Miller's fastball quite hard. In his first outing, I know it's such a small sample, he did give up a double, 3 hits against that fastball. So it was hit hard, and he only got 10% whiff rate on that pitch. So like it's not getting a lot of whiffs, but he only threw it 30% of the time, which I think is so big that if he can rely on throwing his slider, his changeup, and his curveball, and even a sinker to like fill in those gaps, that's huge because the slider did well, the changeup performed well, the curveball got ground balls. Like that's huge. So yeah, I mean, I think there's not many better options to pick up than Bobby Miller. Like I think that why not?
Yeah, he's up to 28% overnight. So an increase of about 10%
I think
from what we saw yesterday.
he's also a pitcher where it's like if he's going to come up against like the Houston Astros, and I know he played the Braves in his first outing, but like the Braves don't hit righties well. But like if he's going up against like some serious teams, like maybe he hold off, but he should have no problem dominating like bad, like even just middle tier offenses with 100-mile-an-hour fastball and a pretty nasty slider and curveball and changeup. Like it's a complete mix. It's not like he's a two-pitch pitcher. So
Yeah.
no, I'm excited, man. I mean, he did struggle this year in like a very small sample in AAA. Had a 5.65 ERA, wasn't getting that many strikeouts. So like, I don't know. We'll just have to see. I'm not ready to judge Bobby Miller totally yet. I need to see some more.
Streamers. Let's see what you
Streamers,
got.
baby. This is simple. We're in and out today. We're in and out. We're giving it to you guys simple. It's Memorial Day. We got a little, a little bit more of Memorial Day to go enjoy. So I'm gonna keep it simple with my streamers this week because the board is pretty ugly out there for streamers. Like, if you want to go stream Jake Irvin and Patrick Corbin against the Dodgers, like go be my guest. I will not be partaking in that. Outside of that, like there's not many options, Clay. I won't lie. There's not many options. So you know what I'm gonna have to do, right? Like I'm gonna have to
I hate
once again
this.
talk about the Red Sox. And I'm not doing it on purpose. Like I want that to be known. I'm not talking about the Red Sox on purpose. It's just that these are the best options. Brian Bayo gets the Cincinnati Reds coming into Fenway tomorrow or today, I guess, when you'll be listening to this episode. It's Tuesday night. So Bayo has been lucky. 4.08 ERA, 4.98 xERA, 4.96 FIP. he's been giving up a lot of bombs, but luckily he hasn't been giving up a lot of base runners beyond that. So like a lot of solo shots for him. He has been getting strikeouts though. He went 7 innings, 2 earned, 6 strikeouts, no walks against the Angels the last time out. Before that, he faced Seattle, 3 hits, 5 walks, which was rare for him. But in all of his other outings outside of that, he's walked a max of 2. He's kept the walks at bay. I think against the Cincinnati Reds, yes, they have an 800 OPS the last 14 days. They've been scorching hot. That's whatever. Like they're not an 800 OPS offense. And if you look at their ex-WOBA the last 30 days, versus lefties the last 30 days, they have a 310 ex-WOBA versus righties a 289 expected WOBA the last 30 days. So I think this offense is more so a bottom 5 offense than an 800 OPS offense. So I'm going with Bayo on Tuesday night. He's owned in 29% of Yahoo leagues, so available there. I'm sure he's available in plenty of ESPN leagues, Clay. You can check me there. And then I'm also going to do Paxton on Wednesday night against these same Reds that, again, have not hit lefties even well. 310 ex-WOBA the last 30 days there. They're about a league average offense against lefties overall by WRC plus. And while Paxton has struggled a little bit, like his last outing, he went 3 innings, 5 earned, 2 home runs against the Angels, just like did not have his best stuff clearly. I think he'll be able to fare well against the Reds in what should both of these guys give you the things we like out of streamers, Clay. Quality start opportunities, win opportunities, and strikeout upside. So I think this is as good as you're going to get this week from streamers.
Here's my issue. You said the last 30 days. Well, part of that is the new Matt McLain-led Reds, and that's a new team. Just in the past 7 games, 6 of the past 7 games, they have scored 5 or more runs in those games. Had 44 hits this past weekend. We got TJ Friedel back. Ellie De La Cruz might be coming up. Who knows? Could you imagine if Ellie debuted in Boston on Tuesday? How
on
cool
a Tuesday night in Boston.
Matt McLain debuted on a Monday night in Colorado.
I mean, I might have to get on a train.
Yeah, that would be incredible. I did, but all honesty, I don't love those picks. If I had to pick one, which
why? Like, why though? The Red, like, I feel like you're too close to the Reds.
I think that
you're too close to this.
I'm
team.
fine with the first one. I'm not fine with the James Paxton one at all. James Paxton had 20, or excuse me, last outing he had. Let me see here, 6 whiffs on 26 swings.
Yeah, but it's the Angels. That. It's Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout. It's not. It's
I'm not impressed with James Paxton. I'll take my chances.
Friedel.
I'll take my chances. If I had to roll the dice, and I'm looking at these streamers, and I was going to kind of for fun attack you on this, but now that I'm looking at the streamer options closer,
they're bad. I'm telling you, they're not good.
You know, Kyle Freeland is one of those guys who has an amazing start and awful start. It's one or the other. He's owned in about 25% of leagues. You could probably pick up Kyle Freeland at Arizona against Zach Allen's Diamondbacks. Dude, like, he's either going to do really well or he's going to completely shit the bed.
Dude, the Red Sox are on the other side of the ball. They're facing Blake Lively. I don't know if it's actually Blake.
Actually been
Blake.
Good.
Okay, it's Blake. And Luke Weaver. Like,
Blake Lively shoved against the Yankees. I do not think Blake Lively is a good pitcher, but he has like a 2.6 ERA and 3 starts or something. Look at Blake Lively. Oh, Ben Lively, not Blake Lively. Golly.
Isn't Blake Lively a famous actress?
Yeah.
That's why I'm calling him Blake.
Ben Lively.
It's Ben, and he has a 2.65 ERA. Well, maybe he shoves, but I'm going to bet he doesn't. So
your streamers are Ben Lively and James Paxton? So
Ryan Bayo, James Paxton. I know it's not like the greatest options in the world, but like, it's streamers, man. They're gonna they have the upside to give you quality starts and wins in both of these. So I think it's kind of perfect.
Absolutely.
That's it, man.
That's it.
Just remember, go join the So Rare League. Go join, play with us. It's actually so fun. Like, my team is looking pretty nasty right now. I'm in 42nd out of 81, but I have.
Who did you get this week? You told us your team last week. Have there been any additions, subtractions?
I actually need to claim my reward right now, so I can do that live. I'm tapping on it. 1 second. 1 second. Here we go. A's outfielder. Oh, Ramon Laureano.
Oh, that's not good for you. I was gonna guess.
Clay, have you drafted your team yet? You got to get on that.
No, we were supposed to do that live last episode,
All
and
right.
I think it
Next
slipped through the
episode, we're
cracks.
drafting
So
your team live. You're joining the league. We're doing it.
Thursday's episode or Friday's episode, we will walk through what So Rare draft looks like, how it works, all that, how to join the league. At the end of our recording here.
Sweet. All right. That'll do it. Just fantasy
Go
baseball.
C's.
Talk to you guys next time. Adios.